Good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central on TV3. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwajuman.
I'm Godwin Asiriba. The headlines.
Democracy Hub has started its three-day demonstration to highlight some critical issues affecting the country amid heavy police deployment.
Later in health, malfunctional X-ray machines affecting healthcare delivery at St. Anne's Catholic Hospital at Domongo in the Savannah region.
Thank you for joining us. The bulletin starts right here, right now. The Ghana Police Service has blocked and diverted some roads as part of what it calls a special operation in Accra. The operation aims to enhance security and manage traffic flow in key areas of the city. The police addressed the media a short while ago.
The demonstrators on the other side of the blockade, they have blocked the road. They are currently all over the place. We are here with a de-escalation mindset, and we are determined to keep the peace of this country. We want the general public to be assured that the police are here and we will do whatever it takes to keep the peace of this country. Thank you all for being here for us. I will not give you the detail of our deployment. It's part of our strategic deployment. We have our men here, you can see. And depending on what situation we have to address, our men will come here to handle any eventuality. Yeah. No, hey. Express yourself. I don't know whether there's anything like overprotection. Ensuring the security safety of our nation is very important. And we are all here. That is the mandate of the police to at all times maintain security, law and order in the country. And that is exactly what we are doing today.
And in your press statement earlier, you mentioned that you picked intelligence. Protesters intend
approaches, obviously, but the intelligence is to
And Democracy Hub has started its three-day demonstration. The demonstration is to highlight some critical issues affecting the country. Hundreds of police personnel have been deployed along with route control gear along their planned routes. Let's speak to my colleague Joseph Armstrong, who has been following the demonstration. Armstrong, if you can hear me, where are you and what is happening?
Yeah. So currently, all roads leading to 37 here has been blocked, where you could see that the demonstrators have taken over the entire place. Now, the police are doing their possible best to prevent them from getting to the Revolutionary Square, and the demonstrators, of course, currently are complying with whatever thing is happening here, Kamini.
Does that mean that the earlier insistence by the organizers to bring or to end their demonstration at the Jubilee House has been sorted now? Armstrong, can you hear me? Well, we're having a challenge connecting with my colleague Joseph Armstrong, who is following up on the demonstration by Democracy Hub to address critical issues, including galamsey and some other issues arising in the country. So when I was coming to work this morning, Gordon, I saw the roadblock. If you get to the Stanchart roundabout, you need to go down to the police headquarters, make a turn, and then come back to the Prudential turn. Even there, you are questioned a bit about who you are and where you're going. Show some ID before you're allowed to enter. So yes, I can attest to that roadblock by the police. Did you go through the same thing?
I went through the same thing, and it was actually quite, hectic because it was getting close to news hour and I had to get here on time as well. We had to drive all the way from the Kanda post office area, use the Ring Road, all the way to, what do we call it? All the way to the runabout before I had to let them understand that I work here at TV3.
Okay.
So it was quite a journey.
Yeah. All right. Armstrong is joining us back on the phone. So Armstrong, I was asking, does it mean that the earlier insistence by the demonstrators to end their demonstration in front of the Jubilee House has been sorted now?
Well, it appears that has been sorted now, but it has also created a major problem here at the 37 runabout, where that is Akwaje runabout, very close to the 37 military hospital, as every single road leading to this place have been blocked. If you are coming from airport's residential area to Opebia to the 37 military hospital, you will not be allowed access by the demonstrators because they blocked the place with stones and burning of party flags, whether NDC or MPP, whichever political party flag they see around, they are burning it right in the middle of the road. And if you are coming from Bema Camp, right from and back, you could see they blocked the Bema Camp road with stones, and some are sleeping on the floor. You cannot have access to that place towards down to Kaukudi Road. And if you are going towards Accra from Opebia to, the road has been blocked by the police with their barricades to prevent the demonstrators from getting to the Flagstaff House. So all the roads intersection here at the Akwaje interchange has been blocked. No road access. The drivers have to use the pavement as it stands now. And some of the drivers are not understanding. They feel they are being prevented from accessing their homes. Some soldiers got here earlier. They claim they are going to the officers' mess. But the protester says, no, it's part of the demonstration. They will not allow them because that was the agreement they have with the police, which is why earlier they agreed that they want to use the Revolutionary Square where the police can bring as many police officers to prevent them from getting to the Flagstaff House. But the police says, no, you can use this place instead. And currently, the situation here is that which is affecting pedestrians and commuters that have traveled from far and near towards the Accra Central.
So Armstrong, this is Grace. If you have to put a numbers to the number of people who are there, how many people would you describe are taking part in this demonstration? What are the issues they are raising?
The number of people, the number of people we have here currently taking part of the demonstration, not really encouraging, as some of the demonstrators agreed. And also because they fear the police will be picking some of them up. So that has deterred some of them from actually showing up. But they are saying it's early days yet because it's a 3 days demonstration, which obviously they have tomorrow and that of Monday. And they are going to encourage the members or the Ghanaian youth to come on the streets to demonstrate. As it stands right now, their issues include galamsey and how that has affected our waters and our forest reserve. For them, the politicians or our leaders have managed to travel outside this country to seek medical care and also get good treatment water to drink. Whereas fellow Ghanaians living in the various rural areas where we have the Ankobra, the River Tano and River Pra, that has been heavily polluted due to the activities of galamsey. They are saying the galamsey needs to stop, and they are blaming the seat of government for sitting and watch for these activities to take place, which as it stands now, all these major river bodies that serves as water for people have all been destroyed. They are saying until galamsey is stopped, they will come up with another demonstration, which will be that of what happened in Kenya, where they will come on the street and they will never go back until the president is impeached or the president leaves office. But as it stands right now, their message is very simple. Stop galamsey, let's reclaim and bring back the water stability level of the various river bodies across the country.
All right, Armstrong, my last one to you. We know it is a 3-day demonstration. Doesn't mean it is running even through the night, or they end somewhere in the day and then reconvene the next day?
So as it stands now, the demonstrators are saying, the organizers, earlier I spoke with some of them who are saying that it appears the police wants to prevent them from achieving their main aim, yes. So by 6 p.m., they are supposed to be stopping. But some of them are saying they are going to carry on and make sure that they do this. It's a 3 days demonstration anyway. So they will be here. They will not go home and come. They will be here and ensure that their message is carried across to the presidency until the presidency respond to them. For now, they have 3 days, and they don't care whether they want to go home in the evening and camp or not. They are going to stay on the street until the 3 days are over.
All right, Armstrong, thank you for bringing us that update. Gordon, you have a lot more on this?
Right, let's still stay on the topic because Salom Dramani is one of the organizers of the protest. Thank you so much for your time. It should be a busy afternoon for you. Where are you at the moment as we speak? Hello, Salom, can you hear me? Hello, Salom. Right, we have quite a challenge to get to connect to Salom, but I'm sure we are working the lines to get to connect to him so that he can run us to speed with exactly what is happening as far as the protest is concerned. But Grace, just like we were speaking, it has been quite a challenge, especially for those who will be using the routes that have been blocked. But let's do some other stories and come back to speak to Salom later. 6 civil society groups and an individual has sued the government and the Speaker of Parliament over the legislative instrument 2462, the Environmental Protection Act, that allows for mining in forest reserves. The plaintiffs, among others, wants the courts to restrain the president from exercising his powers to approve mining in reserves classified as globally significant biodiversity areas.
By the 6 civil society organizations, Arocha Ghana, Nature and Development Foundation, Civic Response, Eco-Conscious Citizens, CASA Initiative Ghana, Chop and Boss Ghana, and engineer Dr. Kenashigbe, acting on behalf of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, comes as small groups continue to pile pressure on government to take decisive actions to confront the issues of illegal mining. A total of 24 forest reserves, including 7 globally significant biodiversity areas, either have a mining lease granted within their boundaries or a mining lease or a prospecting license application awaiting validation.
Our case challenges the legality of the Environmental Protection Mining and Forest Reserves Regulations 2022, that's LI 2462, which we believe were laid in Parliament without the mandatory fiscal impact analysis, in violation of the Public Financial Management Act 2016 Act 921. This failure to follow due process renders the regulations null and void. Furthermore, we contend that the said LI 2462 is inconsistent with the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the Forest Act 1927, Cap 157, which expressly prohibits the granting of mineral rights in forest reserves.
The group is seeking legal redress for the cost to declare the LI a bad law, which contradicts Ghana's progressive framework for natural resource management.
We are also asking the High Court to grant an interlocutory injunction to halt the issuance of any further permits or licenses under the disputed LI 2462 regulations allowing mining activities in forest reserves. We are also asking to restrain any person or entity holding such licenses from carrying out mining activities in forest reserves, to prevent the exercise of any presidential powers to approve mining in globally significant biodiversity areas, pending the court's determination of the case.
The defendants in the suit are the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Minerals Commission, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Attorney General.
We return to our earlier story on the protest where we are speaking with Salom Dramani, who is one of the organizers of the protest. Salom, thank you for your time. I know it's been a busy afternoon for you so far. As we speak, where are you at the moment?
We are currently at the 37 roundabout.
Right.
The 37 roundabout, the intersection. So from here to Pig Farm, from Pig Farm to 37 Military Hospital, and to the 37 station that is going to Burma Camp. that we are going to Kwame Nkrumah Circle or the intersection block. We have blocked the intersection.
Right, Salam, the police insist...
No vehicular movement as we speak.
Right. The police insist you cannot move to the Revolution Square. Will your members abide by that?
There's a challenge actually hearing you. If you want your question again. Hello?
Right, so I was saying that the police is saying they wouldn't allow you to go to your destination point. Are you going to abide by that?
No, currently we have actually made the police aware that they are infringing on our right to converge at the chosen venue.
Right.
For the protest for the demonstration. So the whole place has been barricaded. There's no access to the Revolution Square. But we are determined to get to the Revolution Square.
Right, we'll definitely stay in touch with you subsequently to get to know exactly what will be happening. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Let's do some health stories now. Healthcare providers at the St. Anne's Catholic Hospital in Damongo, capital of the Savannah region, have been compelled to refer all patients seeking X-ray services due to non-functional X-ray machines. Apart from the cost burden it poses to patients' relatives, healthcare providers say the situation is impacting negatively on clinical services, including surgery. Though the hospital has 2 X-ray machines, the machines have not been functional for several months, affecting healthcare delivery. My colleague Christopher Marcon visited the hospital and joins us live for more on this. Christopher, tell us how dire the situation is.
Yes, so Grace, it's not been easy for patients seeking X-ray services at the St. Anne's Catholic Hospital in Damongo because for some months now, the X-ray machines at the hospital have not been functional. Now, the issue is that according to the technician at the X-ray unit, some mice entered the generator of the X-ray machines and the fuse got blown, and so when the technician came to work on it, he could not. And as it stands now, it is going to cost the hospital over $15,000 to be able to work on that particular X-ray machine. The other X-ray machine they have is a movable X-ray machine, and that one too has not been functional over the period. And so all persons seeking X-ray services within the catchment area of the Damongo, the capital of the Savannah region and other areas. You know that Damongo happens to be the referral center of most hospitals in the Savannah region. You talk about Boles, Sola, Daboya, Mankargo, and other areas. And so it's a huge challenge for healthcare providers at the Damongo hospital.
So this obviously, like you said, is a huge challenge to the people that you have been speaking to, some of them or the authorities.
Yes, I've spoken to the medical superintendent of the hospital, and he's been registering some concerns about the impact of the malfunctional X-ray machine to healthcare delivery, because they will have to refer every case. And, you know, it's not just accident cases. They will have to also use the X-ray to determine whether or not someone has some fluid in the chest and other clinical issues before even undertaking some surgical procedures. And so it's a huge challenge. The medical superintendent has been speaking to me. Let's take a listen to what he's been saying.
It's really impacting on the health of both adults and children. The X-ray is the basic of the radiological investigations as far as investigating certain parts of the body is concerned. We have people who get pneumonia, and you can use clinical examination and the history to suggest that the person has pneumonia. But the X-ray helps you to actually confirm your diagnosis based on the findings. Sometimes you have people who have TB. You may do the investigation from sputum and other things, but it may not suggest. But the X-ray suggestion can actually help you to make that diagnosis. Having a lot of accidents happening, and sometimes people sustain fractures. And when it comes to fracture, the x-rays are very, very important because you need to know the fracture configuration, how the fracture looks like, whether it is a transverse fracture, whether it is an oblique or spiral, because how they look like and also know what to do for the patient. Some of them you may just need to apply a POP, others you have to refer to the orthopedic surgeon. But now that we don't have, most of the time when we have fractures, we use our clinical judgment to see that maybe the part that is involved in the fracture is deformed and is swollen and is painful. Then you do that, but how the fracture looks like, you cannot. And sometimes we have even bone infections. For example, people will come with some discharge from their leg, and one of the differentials is maybe the bone is infected, what we call osteomyelitis. And you need the x-ray to be able to help you, especially the chronic one, to make the diagnosis. But all these things, we are not able to do them, all because our x-ray is not functioning.
So, Christopher, what do the hospital authorities tell you is a response from government or those who are able to help them resolve the matter?
Yes, so Grace, they have tabled these concerns to the appropriate courtesans in the Savannah region. Talk about the West Gonja Municipal Assembly, you talk about the Regional Coordinating Council, and the powers that be in the Savannah region. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any positive response from any of the individuals and institutions that they have tabled their concerns to. And so all they want is that the general public, if there's any support somewhere, even government, central government can come in and support it, because procuring a brand new X-ray machine is over $156,000 US. And here's the case, even $15,000, they are unable to get to repair this one. So it's an appeal they are tabling out to the general public. Whoever that can support them should come and support them so that they can also render quality healthcare services to the people in the area.
Definitely, Christopher. Issues of healthcare is one that should be giving all the attention it deserves, and we hope that they get answers as soon as possible. Christopher Mako, my colleague in the Savannah region, updating us on that situation there in the St. Anne's Catholic Hospital. This is Weekend Central on TV3. We're back with more after this break. Stay with us.
Knows acrobato, and if you know acrobato, it means you know Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful Endpoint one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo medro a me fire no ene ma won kra mienu kofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba head everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko Endpoint o mama no nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's Endpoint for you. Papa Roberto, hello. Hey, ohwehwe what che? Okay, a free bra wo di Endpoint wa dance am me call you no me Joseph semana enkoyie empeso na my emre nyina na magina sebema na me be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and every songs.
This Sunday on Hot Issues.
The Electoral Commission should not be seen conniving with actors who have interest in safeguarding their stay or prolonging their stay in power.
What will the NDC do in the event the Electoral Commission does not subject itself to this audit?
We'll hold Jean Mensa should anything happen to Ghana's democracy. Beyond the destruction of the economy, Nana Addo Dankwa and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia are killing Ghanaian institutions softly. They must be held solely liable and solely responsible for their destroyed livelihood arising out of their failure to fight galamsey. We need to humble Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Welcome back to the program. My name is Godwin Asedeba. 14 young Ghanaian men set out on what they believed will be a life-changing journey, promised secure job opportunities in Russia. They left their families behind full of hope and anticipation, but instead of fulfilling their dreams, they found themselves caught in a living nightmare, deceived and trapped in the midst of a war they never signed up for. Take a look. 14 young men from Ghana embarked on a journey they believed would change their lives forever. Lured by promises of secure, well-paying jobs in Russia, these men left their families behind with hopes of building a better future. But what was meant to be a life-changing opportunity turned out to be their worst nightmare.
Again, an uncompleted building, and then this is one of the buildings they destroyed.
Okay.
Let me show you around. Much will go on. Check inside, just one man. Check inside.
It all began on Sunday, August 4, 2024, when the men said their goodbyes and boarded a plane filled with dreams of success and providing for their loved ones. They arrived in Russia on August 6 through Togo. Their hearts were filled with anticipation, but from the moment they touched down, things took a chilling turn. Upon arrival, they were whisked off to Kostroma, a city in western Russia, to sign what they thought would be employment contracts. Instead, they found themselves faced with a grim reality. The young men say they were deceived by a contractor who had promised them these opportunities, a man known as Abraham Boakye, popularly known as one-man supporter in Ghana. Abraham, the man they had trusted, now seemed to be their worst enemy.
Abraham Boakye, popularly known as one-man supporter. He brought us here.
Right.
He told us there is a job opportunity over here in Russia, which is security work and then agriculture.
Okay.
So we paid for our own plane ticket and then visa fee. The military people brought us a contract to sign. And then before, he told us that it's a security work, but we'll be trained by the military.
Right.
So when the military people brought the contract, we thought it's the training that they are coming to train us. The contract, we are coming. The day we were signing, he was not around. He was in Moscow. So we called him and told him that I'm the contract are ready to sign. Should we sign? Because he is the one who brought us here. And he said, oh, we'll sign.
As of September 17, when I spoke with 3 of the remaining survivors, they were trapped in Donetsk, Ukraine, awaiting orders to be sent to the front line of the war.
2 people out of the 14 said, the commander said they are going to front war, so they should prepare. The next day they are going. Up to now, we've not heard from them. You can't go out anywhere, even if you are going to private. The security and the military escort you.
Their situation is beyond dire. Their passports have been seized, and the 14 who left Ghana together have now been reduced to just 3.
Where are the remaining people?
We don't know where they are. Just yesterday, they came to take 2 people out of 3.
And you don't know where you're going to next?
We don't know where they are going to. Right now, as I'm talking to you, we are in Donetsk. But then I don't know the exact place we are in Donetsk.
The others have disappeared. The only contact they've had is from David Edu, one of the men who managed to get in touch, urging the remaining 3 to escape at any cost. They live in constant fear, stuck in a makeshift shelter, unsure who will be next to be sent to fight.
We will pay, and that boom, watch that boom, and that boom. Yes, we need a holding beer in training beer with my goodness at the end. Tears, Samu, my chow. Mutia, my friend, why, my chow. Be a dance with your lady, and we also the Pauso. It's a down by what we from.
As if the physical and emotional torment weren't enough, they revealed that Abraham Boakye had already taken his cut from each of them 130,000 rubles from each of the 14 men. They were each paid 400,000 rubles for a war that never agreed to fight. These men are desperate to return home, alive if possible, but their future remains as uncertain as ever.
My family is in Accra, but then I've not told my mom about it because my mom is suffering from stroke and BP. If I should tell her about it right now, you know what is going to happen.
Efforts to reach Abraham Boache for his side of the story have, however, proved futile. Despite repeated attempts to get him to address the serious accusations leveled against him by the young man, he remains unreachable, leaving many unanswered questions. Godwin Asidiba, TV3 News. Let's speak with a security consultant and lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center. Dr. Victor Doke is joining us for a conversation on the back of this really pressing story. Doc, thank you so much for your time. This is not the first time such cases are coming up. How worrying is this?
Well, thank you very much, and good day to you and all the viewers. Just listening to the stories, I got this very chilling, sensation, and I can really feel the kind of fear and pain they're going through. This is very worrying for we to have able young men going out, not knowing what they are going to engage themselves in, and then find themselves on the war front, a war which they have not even dreamt of fighting. For me, this is akin to human trafficking with regards to the modus operandi of how everything came about, okay, by the said contractor, the one Abraham Boache. And for we to have this kind of news is very disturbing for the country as a whole. Okay, so we need to look at the system. Those individual contractors who have become agents and then assisting people to travel, what are their modus operandi? Are they known by the regulators? Are they known by the security architecture of this country? And I think we should put in place measures. Other than that, this will get out of hand, and then we'll have more young men going out there and then dying. Their families don't even know where they are. This is very disturbing. So I think the consulate or the embassy in Russia, the Ghanaian embassy in Russia, the officials should try as much as possible to get in touch, get the details of these young men and find out if they are alive, and then try to renegotiate their, exit so they can return home as much as possible as they have been yearning to, come back home. Because under international law, you cannot force anybody to even go to fight a war that they are unwilling to. So it is wrong on the part of the Russian officials, the security forces there, whatever they are doing in fighting way in Ukraine. This is very worrying.
Right. In the second part of the story that will be airing soon, we're able to get in touch with some of these men who are in the front line. And clearly, from what they revealed, they are not in a good state at the moment. Also, a Ghanaian community leader in Russia has revealed that over the years, some Ghanaian men would come there, go to the war front, come back with broken limbs. Others even die there. A lot of them have died, actually, according to him. He spoke to me on anonymity. As a security expert, how can the government be proactive around this particular moment to be able to rescue all these people and bring them back home safely?
Well, rescuing is another issue. You're talking about a very large-scale, sort of like process. It won't just happen in a day. Now, first of all, these young men, how did they even find themselves in there? Let's not forget that some actually went into, get enlisted to fight the war because of the financial gains. And let's not forget about the Iraqi war, where you have lots of African, young men, even Ghanaians who went, fought for the British Army and all of that. So some also see this venture, as very lucrative. Let me go there, find out what I can do, and then, get some funds, and then come home and then look after my family and all of that. So what can be done? The Ghanaian community now should liaise with the Ghanaian High Commissioners there. Now get the details of all these young men who have gone there, who have expressed desire to come back. It can be done on humanitarian grounds. Okay, that should be the aim and objective to go to the Russian officials, that on humanitarian grounds, we have some young men there. They will be located and then they'll be assisted and then repatriated back home to Ghana. And then we can now say we've achieved something. It's going to be a hurdle to cross for these people who are going to lead this process, notwithstanding. But then, if we don't act quickly, then it means more of these young guys will be, put in the war front. And we know what happens in the war front. How long were they training even for? Okay, these people have not obviously been security persons by way of that. I mean, going to fight and all of that. This is their first time. The fright alone, the fear alone, the sound of even gunshots can even cause someone to go into trauma. So you can now understand why most of them end up with their limbs off, traumatized, dead, and all of that. Because even the sound of gunshots and all of that would even cause you to make certain mistakes, and then you yourself would die out of your own mistakes.
Right.
So I think authorities should not step up and then put things together and then help these young men to come back.
These Ghanaian men, before being taken to the front line, have undergone a 21-day training. They've seen all sort of rifles, guns. They know how to operate them. Let's say they are able to make their way back home. How is this going to affect Ghana as a whole?
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a critical point. Now, 21 days for training. What kind of training is that? That's given 21 days. And we know that even the legal corps of the army, the police, is not 21 days. Now, that should tell you the kind of war they are fighting there. In the event some of them come back, now, that is why the authorities in Ghana have to get their details and then liaise with authorities here in Ghana, the police. You can involve the military intelligence, the police service, the interior ministry, get these details. Immediately they land. Now you have to get these young men, you take them to a secure location where even their families don't know that they've returned. Because of the kind of training that they've received, okay, the exposure that they've gotten by way of seeing some kinds of weapons, and then we get to know what exactly they have been invited in, the ideologies that they have picked up. Okay, now, if anything goes wrong with regards to not putting systems in place to identify these young men and then taking them to a secure location, then you will have cause to worry, because when they find themselves in a society, the kind of training that they have received could be used against the society or even against the government. So it is very important that all these things that are going on, the authorities will take notice, identify the key people who are involved. And when these young men come in, they have to be taken through a process and then reintegrated back into the society, where now they have accepted that they are back and they will not use any kind of, or reintegrate, reinvent the kind of training that they received there against the society. But then they will be reintegrated and then they will fit in back into the society. They will have something to do, and then we can say that we've done something that can see the society at peace. Other than that, we are setting ourselves up for very difficult situations that we cannot handle.
Right, I really do appreciate your time this afternoon. I have been engaging Dr. Victor Doke. He is a security consultant and lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center. And do make sure to stay tuned with us here on TV3 and across all our social media handles, where a second part of this story will be revealing soon, where you get to see some of the Ghanaian men who are trapped at the war front somewhere around Ukraine. Others are also being injected just to be able to gain strength to be able to fight.
Let's take you back to the ongoing protests by Democracy Hub taking place here in Accra. My colleague Joseph Armstrong is joining us again. Armstrong, update us. What is the latest?
So this is where we are. It's only been made.
Well, so those are live pictures from the ongoing protests by Democracy Hub. I think there's an address going on either from the police or some of the organizers. We will connect with our reporter again so he brings us the latest on this. Armstrong, if you can hear me, update us on the latest. So in your shots is independent candidate Kofi Crampton, who is also taking part in the protest. Armstrong, you have been speaking to him. What has he been telling you? Well, we're having a challenge connecting with my colleague Armstrong, who is following the ongoing protests by Democracy Hub to address a lot of issues in the country, including the ongoing devastation or havoc being wreaked by galamsey. Godwin.
I think it's... well, I don't want to say we all know how devastating galamsey has been. Not just destroying the land, it goes into the communities to affect people. I am always usually interested in talking about how it is affecting the human beings, to humanize the stories. That way people can get to understand how it affects people deeply. But my colleague Armstrong Goldalogwe is the one on the ground following this protest. Earlier, he made mention of the fact that he's around the 37 military hospital. But Armstrong, if you can hear me, where are you at the moment? And can you run us through exactly what is happening? Right. We'll get to connect to him later, but before we do that, we return to the ongoing protest by Democracy Hub taking place here in Accra. Some participants have been speaking with my colleague Joseph Armstrong Goldalogbe. Let's take a look at exactly what they have been saying.
Say, we want clean water now. No more talk. Now, clean water. Galamsey must stop. My grandchildren are not going to drink dirty water. So we want the clean water now. We cannot afford dialysis. I have many grandchildren. I have many children. How am I supposed to afford dialysis for them? There's no work for the youth. Galamsey must end now, not tomorrow.
Yes. So far, so good. Well, so good in the sense that people are coming, you know, right now, the whole of Accra right now is at a standstill. And it has to be at a standstill because galamsey is a serious issue. Galamsey is a very serious issue. It's affecting people's lives. People have died due to galamsey. Children have died due to galamsey. It's destroying our water bodies. The food that we eat, a lot of them is coming from the areas in which galamsey is being done. So that means that the chemicals which are going into the water bodies are going into our bodies. We have an existential crisis. Ghanaians need to wake up.
I came all the way to stop galamsey. That's my message. Even though don't mind about this, I came here to tell the government to stop galamsey because he has the power to stop it, and I want it to stop. Yeah. Keep talking. I mean, he has destroyed our water. When you go to my constituency, I have a number of people who have gone blind due to the mercury. I have one of East. And we have a number of blindness, and I've screened them, so I'm saying this based on facts. Enough is enough. Our roads are destroyed, our farms are destroyed. It's like we have no future. It is about time we fight for our right. This is not what they promise us. They promise us with a good future, jobs and all the like, but we don't have nothing up to date. We are so suffering. If you look at around, I can bet you that about 80% of the youth, nobody has jobs. That is how bad it is. Yesterday I went to somewhere in Kasua and they have no job. Okay, the youth were telling me that about 90% of them has no job. So what are they doing? Smoking and getting high so that they can sleep. They can't even afford 3 square of meal. Is that how we want? That's not what we want. We want a better Ghana, and we want galamsey to stop.
Right, you just heard some of the protesters there. We head to Armstrong right away to get to know exactly what is happening. Armstrong, take it away.
Yeah, so as Sidiba currently here, you could see right from my side, Kofi Crampton, he has been carrying this on his head for some time now, and he wants to experience what the ordinary Ghanaian experiences here as it stands. Whoa, so the demonstrators will not even allow police vehicle pass because they say this is their jurisdiction, and that's what is happening there now. But first of all, let's talk to Kofi Crampton, why he's here and why he has decided to carry this on his head. Sir, talk to us. You've been carrying this for some time now.
Well, listen, we just want to feel what our ladies feel are going through on a day-to-day basis when Ghana is the #1 country in terms of revenues in gold for the whole of Africa and #6 in the whole world. And we don't even get to enjoy the benefits of the gold that we allow for galamsey to decimate our lands. And we have our women who are precious to us carry this 100-pound load on their heads for hours on end on a daily basis just to make, what, 15 cities net on a daily basis. It's heartbreaking. I cannot carry this for an hour and I work out. You see, and they carry this for 10, 12 hours a day just to make 15.
So what's the message you are sending across now?
The message is if our leaders will sit down and actually think of how they can make employment, lifestyle available to our women, they wouldn't go around carrying this bucket of drinks and sell it to make a measly 15 cities a day net. It's painful and it needs to stop. We don't need to put our citizens through this hopelessness, and we want to send this message to Ghana. It's ridiculous.
So by granting that speaking to us, so as right now, you can see right there to 10 and next 3 days. So all the road you see here now, you can see this road is going all the way to Opebia Junction. Currently, they've managed to block it from Opebia, so no cars can pass here either. And this other side of the road is going to Taukudi Junction. As I speak to you, it has also been blocked. And then if you can see, this road leads all the way to 37 towards the Accra Central. It has also been blocked. The only vehicles allowed to use this place now is an ambulance that is carrying a patient. And if you're an officer or a policeman, you are not allowed to drive past. So as it stands right now, if you are traveling from far and near, this road is not a place you want to try using. So far, the numbers seems to be increasing from time to time, but they are still hopeful that by evening to tomorrow and then to Monday, the place will fill as it stands right now. Asidiba.
You've seen it for yourself. People clad in red and black drumming home the need for galamsey to come to an end. My colleague Joseph Goldalogbe with those details there.
Away from that, a United States-based Ghanaian Professor Kwaku Asare is making a case for digitalization of the filing and balloting process for the presidential aspirant. Professor Asare argues that digitalization is the way to go to deal with the drama and confusion that characterized the entire process.
I do believe both the filing and even the balloting for positions could all be digitized. And it will save us all time, and it will save us all the drama. On the proviso that it won't be a black box, that the process will be subject to an audit by a credible, independent accounting firm. So you see that anytime, I don't know whether the practice is common in Ghana, but it's very common in the US, that on weekends when they are going to announce the lottery, it is announced by some accounting firm. That gives people the comfort that there is no rigging. Digitization is the solution. And then third, even the balloting can be digitized. And a lot of these rituals will be cut out.
You have a situation where both are marked so different from others. Why? It undermines fairness, which is contrary to the motto of the Electoral Commission. And so you have a situation where Dr. Omani Boama had to call the attention of the Electoral Commission that, look at this particular ball. It is so marked unique from the others. Why was it done? And look, the reason why this concern was raised about not looking into the rubber was that, you see, when somebody pre-arranges with you, color, or unique characterization of the boss, it gives you an added advantage.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah played a pivotal role in Ghana's quest for independence from British rule and was the founder of the Convention People's Party. As today marks his birthday, some Ghanaians and tourists have shared fond memories of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and how his life and legacy are worth emulating.
Today, 21st September 2024, Ghanaians across the country are marking Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day, for which Monday, 23rd September, has been set aside as a statutory public holiday. If he were alive today, he would have marked 115th of his birthday.
We should learn much about Kwame Nkrumah because it's a Pan-African, I can say Pan-African king, which used in mind to just create unity in Africa. So we should celebrate Kwame Nkrumah well as a founder, so that everything will be okay. I think we should put our heart and heart everything in Kwame Nkrumah so that we learn how we can live in this Ghana, so that we too can make impact.
My goodness. Is that a memorial today? I'm sorry, I'm a new guy for this city. Actually, yesterday I visited a place. That was where I have touched my, it touched me a lot. Kwame Nkrumah in Ethiopia has got a very great connection, as you know. During the time of 1963, the Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie and Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, and others, and Jomo Kenyatta, and many more were there together to establish Organization of African Union, and then recently African Union. So there is a great connection. So I love that man. He's a very great man. He's a warrior. He's a Pan-Africanist that you cannot find now.
Say about fighting Magana, and yen Nkwana fighting. Nambo, only no better until fighting. Since 1957, we start on your independence.
Kwame Nkrumah have done a lot for this country, and we as youth growing up, we have to pick critical examples from him. Living that, let's go to our elections. During his era, we didn't hear of any violence, or anyone involving in any electoral violence and what have you. So if there is nothing at all which we can pick from him, it should be his peaceful nature and how he lives his life.
In commemorating the legacy of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, 3FM is celebrating Africa's rich heritage and culture on September 21, 2024. Afro Connect is taking place at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park in Accra. Johnny Hughes has more as he is joining me live from the park. Right, so we'll get to connect to Johnny Hughes soon, but Grace Amwajaman, you were raising some concerns about a friend who has actually released a poem on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That should be quite interesting because he has inspired a lot of people, and you also had some people who have spoken from other countries who actually know him and know some of the stuff that he has done. But Grace, looking at this poem, what about it really stands out for you?
I think it talks about the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah, his enthusiasm, the dreams that he had for Ghana, how he wanted to break the influence of neo-colonialism, and how even after so many years of Ghana's independence, we are still going through it. So the poem was written by a colleague, Nana Kweku Techi Ama, and it's published on 3news.com. It's called O Africa. So anybody who loves Nkrumah, believes in the tenets and teachings of Nkrumah and the values of Nkrumah can go on 3news.com, check out the poem.
You might have done quite well in history, haven't you?
I had A in history and literature. So when it comes to these...
Sure. Well, I mean, it's actually really good to know that. Recently, we saw that an angry Ghanaian went somewhere around the airport area to destroy some monuments, which included Kwame Nkrumah. Basically, people had brought it down to the fact that Ghanaians are angry at the moment about how things are going on in the country, and Kwame Nkrumah would
how they
not
wish
be,
Nkrumah would have done
happy in
it
his
differently, and they wouldn't have been happy if he
absolutely
was still around. So the poem says, oh, Africa, most people are not happy. They are just keeping up appearances. Some are expressive of their woes. Others are so tired, they don't complain anymore. And the rest tend to leave into the West. Exactly what we are experiencing now with the Japa issues and all of the other issues that have come up with it.
That is actually true, though. But we can go back and speak to Johnny Hughes at the moment. We have challenges, I understand, but it is happening there at the Independence Square. But if you want to get to know exactly what happens as far as 3 News is concerned, we are popping our channel on the screen where you can pick up your phones, get your QR code, and also get to, join. We have about thousands of people who have joined the platform at the moment, and they haven't regretted it, because everything that happens here and above, it always drops there first. So if you want to be part of those people, which I think will be really important to you, then you should pick up your phone right now, scan it, and also get to hop on the platform. Right, so that's how we end the bulletin this afternoon.
Yes,
but
let me just quickly say that the 3FM Afro Connect is happening now at the Independence Square. It is free, and today is Saturday, so just walk in with the family, go and enjoy all the sights and scenes as you can see live on air, and then enjoy yourself with the family. There's also a Jollof challenge going on now between Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, and all the others. You want to just settle the issue today.
I should have been part of the Jollof war.
Yes, God is a good cook. You should have gone to represent Ghana. So I just heard one of the countries is pouring okra soup in their Jollof. I don't know how that's going to come out, but I think we'll find out by the close of the
Are you going to be there? Because your fans are wondering.
I'm going there. So just let us all meet at the Independence Square for the 3FM Afro Connect as we celebrate the legacy of Ghana's President, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Right, it's happening at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, rather.
Kwame Memorial Park.
So yeah, you can the refurbished Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
And it is free, so just enter, go with the family and the kids. Let them also see what they have been studying in school when it comes to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and all of the good things he's done for the country.
It should be fun. Look at that man.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for making us a part of your time this afternoon. My name is Godwin Asidiba. We are back same time tomorrow, but also remember that a part 2 of the 14 Ghanaian men stuck in Ukraine at the front line will be on our social media platform soon. So do stay tuned so that you can be able to watch it.
My name is Grace Hamo Ajiman. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.